In the previous section, we dealt with the measures of business health and showed how to use them to base business decisions and make resource allocations. In this section, we deal with process, primarily how to keep leads from languishing on the bid list. As a manager, the situation you want to avoid is having the RFP come out and the capture team has not provided you with sufficient information to make an informed bid decision. The processes we describe here address that issue and show you how to keep those opportunities progressing swiftly through the capture process, so when the RFP does come out, management can make a fully informed bid decision. The capture process provides a way to organize business capture concepts, and the gate reviews provide the opportunity for management to make decisions, but it still leaves open the question, how does management make those decisions, and what information should the capture team be bringing up to management in each one of the gate reviews? I address that in a decision framework I call the bid decision pyramid. It just takes the stages and lists them vertically. And in each of the stages, I've reduced the information needed to move from one stage to the next to a single question. By doing that, it gives the capture team a direction to focus on, and it gives management a way to assess that information to see if that single question is answered. And if it is, it can allow the team to move through the gate on to the next stage. Here's how it works. The goal of the bid decision pyramid is to provide management with a way to move opportunities up or off the bid list as quickly as possible. The more bids that can be moved off in the early stages, no bid in the early stages, frees up money to be invested in opportunities that have higher win probabilities. Explosive growth means squeezing dollars out of the bid program and investing them in high probability opportunities. Organizations that can get 1 or 2 extra bids out a year, well qualified bids out a year, are those that jump ahead of the pack and exhibit explosive growth, the kind of growth I was part of at SAIC. Here are the questions. The first question to get into stage 1 is to look at all of those opportunities, that unconsolidated glacial debris that comes across your desk through subscription services or from Fed BizOps or what you overheard at conferences or what competitors are contacting you about to team on. And to move that unconsolidated glacial debris, that list of things that just hit your desk, into stage 1 and turn into a real prospect, just ask the question, can we do the work? Well, I don't mean can we do the work immediately, do we have all of the skills, but do we have enough understanding of how that contract needs to be operated that we can visualize ourselves running it without making a very heavy investment in infrastructure and new staff? I used to joke that if I didn't protest in the national interest if my firm won that contract, then that's one I want to move to stage 1. Once that opportunity is in stage 1, it shares one common attribute with all of the prospects in that stage. Those are all opportunities in which the firm can see itself managing. Now the question is, how do I get to stage 2? And the single question here is a competitor a lock for the win? How high is the competitive bar to win this? Does SAIC have this all locked up and I'm wasting my time? You could ask a lot of other questions and try to answer them, like, does the client like us? Do we have sufficient skills? What is our team going to look like? But if it's so competitive that you can't win anyway, why waste time and resources on those questions when the real important question is, how competitive is this? You should be spending majority of your time answering that question, because that's the bid, no bid question that's most important to go from stage 1 to stage 2. The order of these questions is critical. Once you've moved into stage 2, look what you have. You have a series of bids in which the firm can do the work, can lead the opportunity, and which are not so competitive that you don't have a chance to win. Essentially, you've got a level playing field. If the playing field is level, the question now becomes, how do I get to stage 3 now that I know that it is competitive? The question we need to answer to go from stage 2 to stage 3 is Federal on that playing field? Does the client view Federal as competitive? If it does, you can move to the next stage. If it doesn't, you've got your work cut out for you to make that client believe that Federal should be considered a serious competitor. If the client does not see you as in focus, you've got to work to make them see you as a legitimate prime for that opportunity. So the Gate 2 question is the playing field level, and is Federal on that playing field? If it is, you can move through the gate into stage 3. Once in stage 3, you have bids that the firm can do in which the opportunity is not so competitive that there isn't a way to win. And number 3, there are opportunities that the clients believe that Federal is a legitimate contender. The next question to ask in order to get to stage 4 is, how can we get the client to prefer us? Can we tilt the playing field in our direction? So the capture team needs to be focusing on that positioning question to move into stage 4. If it can do that and can demonstrate to management that the client now has an appetite for Federal services in the prime role, then we can move the bid into stage 4. Do you see why I would call that a well-qualified bid? It's work we can do in an area that's not so competitive, on a playing field that we're clearly on, and now we've tilted that playing field in our direction. What kind of win probability do you think we're going to have with bids that are bid out of stage 4? What if you can't get to stage 4? All you can do is get to stage 3. You're competitive with everything else. There's nothing you can do, although you've tried, to tilt the playing field in your direction. You're merely competitive. You can bid out of stage 3, and many firms do bid many things out of stage 3, but if you can get to stage 4, that's where your win rate is going to go way up. And because you've eliminated bids along the way, those are opportunities you didn't spend money on. You can reduce the total cost of your capture program because you've only focused on those high probability wins. Once you're in stage 4, the only question now is, what does that RFP actually look like? Are there any changes or surprises in that RFP that's going to modify your proposal plan? If we start with about 20 prospects, several are going to drop off, perhaps half, to go from stage 1 to stage 2. Several more, perhaps a third, will drop off as you get into stage 3 and into stage 4. So it generally takes about 20 prospects to get 4 well-qualified bids.